Namaste, sir. So we are,
Namaste,
we
sir.
are, Namaste, sir. We are understanding delusion, hammering the delusion. My master never shared a platform anywhere outside in the world. I was just talking to the small group, to all of us. One guy or one group approached him and they said that we will honor you if you join a conference. Kindly accept our invitation. So he said, I do not need any honor. I am already honored by the existence, so I don't need any honor of you. No, we want to make you big. Master said, you cannot make me big or small. When the mind is so clear and there is a conviction inside that nothing can make you big or small with reference to the world outside, you are already free from delusion. My master said, no, nothing can make me big or small. So another guy who was listening to my masters and he said, you seem to be too crazy. My master instantly replied him, how do you know that? How do you know that? Can you see the state of the mind? Can you see the state of the mind? There is a conviction that I know I am the real self. The knowledge that I am the real self helps you get rid of this delusion. And that is why we have been saying, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Moodh Mate Sanprapte Sannahite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrunna Karane. Remember, recall, repeat with understanding, with a clarity that I am that pure consciousness. But moment you fall short of it, there is always a delusion in one form or the other. And the delusion causes the ignorance, ignorance causes the suffering, and then we are talking of hammering the delusion in our life. That delusion lives in the mind because the mind has an impurity, mind has a projection, and mind lives in ignorance. The entire journey of the Eastern wisdom is removing the ignorance. So the moment you remove the ignorance, you get out of your anxiety, duality, and conflict. I normally don't talk about it, that it helps you managing many illnesses. But if you are committed, you find it. I will not tell the name, but if uh, the person wants, he wrote, I very much appreciated the hammering, the delusion, teaching, and the practices. Although I missed Monday's session, I listened to the recording and I have been listening and practicing daily for many, many weeks now. You see the beauty of your understanding. I can catch the delusion of all kinds and forms in the teachings are lending in much deeper way now. It is possible. It is always possible. That is the beauty of this learning of the Eastern West. I can see how the different layers into the mind staking on each other, almost like peeling away all that is false. That is why I started No, I don't need your honor. I'm already honored by the existence. Do you have that conviction in you? You are out of the delusion. No, I'll make you big. Who can make me big? I told you, almost every third day I get, we will make you, we will make you influencer on the LinkedIn. I post almost one or two articles every week. I don't want to be an influencer. Do you have that certainty? It does not mean that it affects your profession and business. You continue doing your business. But the business plus business can give me peace, not possible. The further person writes, I believe our practices and doing them daily have enabled me to stay off my anxiety medication, and I have been waking up early every day. It is possible. I normally don't talk about that you can manage many illnesses, but it is 100% possible. Keep on learning, keep on doing it. I had a thought. I love it. Who would guide us in the teaching when you are no longer with us after the death? I think I have given the answer to this question maybe last year. The same question was asked to my master. And he thundered. He says, Guru never dies. What is that, Guru? So gu is the ignorance and ru is the knowledge. That is what is the meaning of the Guru. Guru never dies. The knowledge never dies. The wisdom never dies. So if your mind is centered in that knowledge of the self, Guru never dies. So he taught me. My master taught me. So I keep the memory. That is the right memory. I keep his memory, his teaching. And that is what I'm passing on. So that is the meaning the Guru never dies. The body, I'm not the body. The Guru never dies. So when you totally absorb the teaching, you have that insight and intuition. You have that clarity in your life. Last time, I think briefly, I touched upon receiving. Mind is a receiving station and responding station. In between the two, the mind gives the interpretation. The moment I see you, you see, how are you? So you are receiving, how are you? And you are then responding. Say, for example, your mind hates someone and who asks you, how are you? Your response will be different. Because the mind, before the interpretation, the factors responsible for that interpretations are many. Are you getting it? So there is a receiving station. Mind is all. Receiving station, interpretation station, and responding. So before you respond, there comes and mind attaches the meaning of the things in the world that we think outside and that we receive from outside. We receive the stimuli from outside. I look at you and I move with an affection. So when you're asking, how are you? My mind attaches the meaning. It makes a sense. But if your mind has a hatred against someone, it attaches a different meaning. So it comes from the past impression. So like this, there are many factors. biological drives, your past experiences, your motivation, your expectations, the current context. Dennis translates the session on Tuesday, and there was unnecessary questions asked. They don't want to pursue a systematic study. So there is some sense of the ego that is working. So how I take it? I take it casually. I simply say, oh, I have to go back to the first step again. That is the teacher's approach. Why the teacher's approach? Oh, let me make them aware again. We are never tired. We are never upset with anything. We say, okay, let me explain in this way. And that is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. So receiving, remember that receiving, interpretation, factors, and the response. You are listening to me at this time. Your mind is listening to me at this time. How openly, how, with what level of awareness you are receiving, that will make a difference. Whether those factors, you have those beliefs, you have those motivations, you have those expectations, they will give the meaning to what I'm speaking to you. And that is why the master says, once you understand, you can hammer this delusion easily. And that is what we are understanding. So we are understanding from where the delusion comes. From my belief, from my biases, from my motivation, from the biological drives, from the habit formation. Lot biological drive, you know. So from those factors, my mind gives the interpretation, it attaches the meaning, and then it responds. Response means, it reacts or it becomes angry or it becomes hesitating. We are going deeper. So the mind's interpretation and response depends on many factors. And those factors are present all the time. It is mind and memory. What we say, you made me to react, you made me react, you made me angry, you are responsible. I'm very sensitive to you. No, nothing like that. Everything is happening in the mind. So if you have really understood how the mind responds and what are the factors that trigger interpretation and response, it is happening in the mind. Reservoir. One master says there is a reservoir of impressions, past impressions are present. We have to empty that. Once you empty that, the real self is seen clearly. Knowledge is settled. When knowledge is settled, I don't die. You may ask the question, why does the mind interpret the stimuli coming from inside and outside rather than just receiving them? So we have to understand what exactly is the interpretation. So interpretation allows the mind to attach meaning to the inputs we receive from outside or from the thoughts that we have in our mind. And then we respond accordingly. But is it natural? Yes, it is an evolutionary adaptation since our birth. It is an evolutionary. But as long as we are evolving under the dictate of the nature, I'm taking you to a different level. Once you understand it, contemplate, and reflect, the life will change. Anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, it has no no place in your life. What I said, any evolution. Evolution is constant, happening to all the animals. And that evolution has passed on also to the human frame, the human being. So one master observed all different animals, and he found that how these five animals are deluded, and because of their delusion, they die. Animal mind, we know it is impulsive, it is reactive, it is habitual all the time. They don't have a free intellect. They cannot make a choice. They cannot think. So he cites an example, absence of a choice in the head, not outside. Tiger continues to eat flesh. He has no choice. He cannot make a choice. Cows cannot make a choice. They keep on eating grass. That is why they can be put into the cage. And that is why we go into the zoo and we see them. Happiness and peace are always available. So now see these five elements. There's a beautiful verse. Shabda dibhi panchabhi reva pancha panchatvamapu swagunena badha. So he just braced that five acts by the five different animals. He says the deer, the elephant, the moth, the fish, and the black bee. These five have died being tied to one or the other of the five sense organs that is causing the delusion. They have only one sense organ that is very strong in them. We have all the five sense organs that are stronger. So we have a chance of continued state of delusion. And that is why we have to hammer the delusion. Let us go a little deeper into this. A deer enslaved by the sound. Elephant weakened by the touch. Its head, its vulnerable spot. And we can control the elephant. The moth entrapped by the sight. The fish baited by the taste. The bee destroyed by the smell. Let us go, let us understand it deeply. The fish baited by the taste, we get baited by the taste. So we have a binge eating. I can give you hundreds of examples. Binge eating, it is because of the taste. Each of these criteria, creatures is deluded and they die their own death. What exactly you see the essence of it? This verse gives us an example of different animals who die because they are deluded and enslaved by one of the five sense organs. Deer is deluded by and enchanted by the sense of sound. When it hears the calf cry, what happens? It is impelled to run towards the sound without awareness of the danger, and the hunter the lack of discernment leads it to be trapped or killed by the hunter. That is how the deers are killed in olden days. How does the moth delusion causes its death? So you have not to look that I'm not a moth. That is the wrong interpretation. I have to look at my sense organ. Which sense organ is trapping me? The moth is spellbound by the sense of sight. It is irresistibly drawn to the flame of a candle or a light bulb. They get transfixed by the glow. Oblivious to the danger of getting burnt, the moth flies repeatedly into the flame and the dies. That is why we say the films are, it's a silver screen. So I have to look little deeply that what kind of a sight attracts me. And that will help us remove that, erase that delusion. The moth is this, And then what about the elephant and the fish? The elephant is vulnerable because of the sense of touch. Through enormous in size, it can be captured if you exploit its weakness. When a sensitive spot on its head is touched, it becomes docile. Have you seen that, who controls the elephant? They sit and they constantly keeps on moving their fingers on that. The fish is baited using the taste. So I have to be aware of these sense organ first and how it is connected to the factors before it is given an interpretation. And then you are free. When you are free, you can be free here and now. In each case, animals' attentions gets narrowed. Now, another understanding of the delusion. In delusion, our attention is narrowed and fixated on one sense object, or one event, or one situation. And that seems irresistible. There's delusion or a this delusion or a tunnel vision blocks out all the sense of discernment and dispassion. It is only happening because of lack of discernment and dispassion. It can happen in the family, it can happen in relationship, it can happen in friends, it can happen you are sitting in a restaurant, it can happen anywhere. Oh, it can happen even in the highway. Oh, highway is totally there is no traffic. Let us, you can complete the sentence. Let us speed it. We need that constant self-awareness to get out of it. The delusion, that delusion can come anytime. Can it be done in once for and for all? No, it has to be done until we reach to that state of the consciousness which is irreversible. Then you know this is delusion, this is the reality, and you are free. Done, finished. You are done, you are finished. Until then, we have to do that. What is the lesson today? We have access to all the five sense organs. We are even more susceptible to the delusion. There is a downfall of these animals. Can you see the understanding by these masters? This master, I think, he lived more than I think 1800 years ago, when there was almost no science. So sensory pleasure, delusion outside, blocks my intellect, blocks my judgment, blocks my discernment. That needs to be understood. We need not to get upset. These things happens in life. But we have to cultivate that discernment in our mind. That is what is known as the mastery over the sense organs. So now related, what I told you attaches the interpretation. Means the mind attaches the meaning based on my past impressions that I received from the sense objects plus the memory that I had. Once I dissolve that by understanding the binge eating, overeating, or addiction of any form can easily go away. But it takes time. It demands a lot of understanding. And that is what happens in our life. Whether we see something by the sight, it attracts us. Attraction by the touch causes too much of delusion. Sound causes too much of delusion. When angered, we may rashly act or speak in the ways we later regret. This don't try to manage the anger, but understand the cause behind it. Follow these 4 steps. What is the receiving? What is the interpretation? Which factor? And then you respond. Now, I'm not criticizing, but I'm just telling you the music enthusiast who spends every penny on the latest audio or the equipment, concert. I'm not criticizing, I'm appreciating them. I'm oblivious to the financial strain and still I do it. The workaholic, those people who claim that they are absolutely busy, addicted to adrenaline rush, who ignores the body's signals of exhaustion. No, no, I have to achieve success. Social media, addicts obsessively chasing validation through likes and comments. This is the modern way of understanding. The foodie, we're seeing the next taste sensation. Today I will go there at the cost of my health and relationship. Shopaholic, compulsive buying habit. This is all because of the delusion. Once we have a clear understanding, the life becomes so easy. So you see, when I say senses overpower the reason, and it means the senses gives its own interpretation through the mind based on my past experiences of the projection. That is what the delusion is. We need to understand, we need to apply the discernment. That is why Master says, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. So at least I should be able to remember, recall. Now, see the opposite side of it. Whenever I'm surrounded by anxiety, duality, conflict, pressure, recognize the delusion. So, who recognizes the delusion? If I don't remember that there is a real self inside, the peace is inside me. I cannot, I cannot, rec- I cannot remember. I cannot go for discernment. So that is why Bhaj Govindam is there. So delusion creates its own cycle. And once we are caught in that cycle, it is very difficult to get out of it. What is the way? Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. And he points out that Murdhamati, that interpretation by the mind is a foolish judgment. I have to get rid of it. That is the deluded mind. And you find that you are totally calm and relaxed. And that is why I differentiated between the fool, mad, and the wise. A fool lacks the discernment. A mad person is irrational. And a wise applies the discernment and dispassion. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Let us follow the practice. So now you see delusion is not there in being comfortable and being carefree. So you are just align your body and you feel, you experience. It is not intellectual. You have been doing for so many weeks and months. So you are comfortable, you are carefree, and you know it, you mean it. Can I give you a little more? So your mind attaches the meaning of being carefree and comfortable with a steadiness in the body, with not caring any thought that enters into the mind, and paying attention to the listening to the teacher. Do you see that? That is the understanding of a higher seeker. Yes, for the beginner, we will explain what is comfortable, what is carefree, until the mind removes that level of the delusion. Now, we will continue with the mantra. I promise that I'll be changing the practice step by step. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. When you do the practice at your home, it's better that you even remember these Sanskrit phrases. Why? We should also bring the understanding of the science. Any language that you is is spoken, recited, triggers the brain. It helps you to move into a new level of awareness. I'm not saying science is saying. So for the sake of the science, if you follow the science, do this. And then we must go to the meaning. May there be happiness for all. Why happiness for all? We must contemplate and reflect. Why I told you, what is knowledge? Cause and effect relationship. And that is why we want a cause. Behind when I say may there be happiness for all, happiness is our essential nature. It is the nature of all the living beings. What you are doing, are you creating a factor in the mind? Answer is yes. Why you are creating those factors which gives a new interpretation? You are getting rid of the projections and the delusion by saying so. That is the key element. That is what we fail to understand. So the happiness is the essential nature of all the beings on this earth. I need not to be unhappy at any cost. Sarvesham, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. So you see, we get rid of the ego. I'm not saying that I'm not introducing the peace to everyone. The peace is the essential nature of the existence. It is already there. It is veiled by the delusion. And that is what I'm getting rid of. You see your interpretation? Mind should follow this interpretation. And that is why I told you before, every master says that we continue to listen and learn, continue to attend the session with a commitment to reach to that state. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. I started this session today. My master is saying that I'm already big, I'm already honored by the existence. I don't need anyone outside. What it means? I have a conviction that I feel the sense of completeness in me. Awakening has taken place. That is the meaning. So these masters, they are very humble. They will never say that I'm awakened. They will use different phrases. When someone said that you are crazy, how do you know that? Being complete with a conviction does not make any difference whether you brand him crazy or you brand him good and bad. Now, what happens? All your anxiety, all your duality is gone. You are not carried away by these impressions. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness, auspiciousness. I have already explained it. So you just think of the meaning, any interpretation. You see that here? Auspiciousness, where mind attaches the meaning of auspiciousness based on the knowledge passed on to us by the Eastern wisdom, instead of taking that interpretation from the factors, your confirmation biases, your past impressions, your experiences of the anxiety and etc., will take you again to the hell. And it takes time for us to understand, my friends. That is why I approach hammering the delusion in many, many different ways so that the mind should be clear. And now we will continue with the breathing, looking deep inside the where deep inside the forehead in the space you start Om Shanti with a pause, not very fast, not habitual. And you start breathing quick, short, gentle breath into the rib cage. Every time you inhale, the chest expands, and every time you exhale, the chest contracts. Means you are aware of the sensation of expansion of the ribs and the contraction of the ribs with breath in the state of the steadiness in the body. Continue. Continue, quick and short breath. Any resistance is another interpretation of the mind. No, no, I feel exhausted. And when you bypass that resistance, you have a variety of experiences by which the mind can be absorbed deeper within. So continue. Just continue. You are as if you are totally absorbed. Continue breathing short in the gentle with Om Shanti, with the steadiness in the body. So you are able to maintain that level of awareness. Just continue quick and short breath. Internal awareness is there. And just stop it. Pay attention to the normal breath, the flow of the breath through both the nostrils and other experiences that you have. So, what happens, I'm just giving a clear understanding. At this moment, the interpretation is not done by the factors present already coming from the past, but the interpretation is done by a new level of awareness. A sense of freedom is there, a sense of calmness is there. And that makes the things very clear to all of us. If these factors continues to be present, they will cause the delusion and the suffering in my life. Look deep inside the forehead. Om Shanti continues and start with the belly breathing. It's a longer breath, and you can also observe the breath through both the nostrils. If they are equal, it would be a wonderful state. It is possible. Now we are moving to the next step, that even with the deep breathing, we have the same flow through both the nostrils. Continue breathing into the belly, and you already know when you inhale, the belly expands. When you exhale, the belly contracts. Yes, there will be many experiences of the vision, color, sensation, tingling, numbness. Accept it, recognize it, and accept. mind has a resistance because of those factors. Why? The mind is attaching the meaning based on those previous factors in the past. So I get rid of it how? By enduring it. Saying it, no, let me do it. I have to change this. And that is going to change your perception completely, my friends. And stop it. First, recognize the changes. Pay attention to the flow of the breath. Are they equal? If not, pay attention to the flow, which has a less flow of the either the right or the left, and you will discover that their flow becomes equal, but just by paying attention. So I added this is a very deeper aspect of the Tantra I have added into the practice, and we will take it deeper. Remember, we are just working on that how we can reach to 6 minutes of each breathing. And then what? Then we will return hardly to the 2 minutes because once you have that awareness, we can even reach to that awareness by 2 minutes, looking inside the forehead, Shanti, and then start breathing both from the belly and the rib cage. Pay attention. Even it is possible to have the flow of both the nostrils are equal. And if they are equal, you will have a tremendous sensations along the spine if they are equal. So it happens because of this, yes, because the mind has absorbed deeper within. Continue breathing. Om Shanti continues, steadiness in the body continues, and you have a change in experiences. If resistance is there, you endure it. You don't get carried away by the interpretation by the mind that I cannot do it. In what way? In a way, you are also treating your mind to not to get lost in the delusion. I'm using the word delusion for a lot of stuff, lot of things that we discussed. Very beautiful. Everyone seems to body is steady to completely. That is one understanding. I cannot see the eye movement of the eyeballs to each and every one, but perhaps eyeballs also doesn't move. What it means, mind is withdrawn inside. And now leave this, bring your mind back to the awareness of the breath. Follow the flow of the breath and see that the flow of in both the nostrils is almost equal. Means what? You find there is no obstruction in any of these nostrils. mind gets absorbed into it. We need to explore. It is required an uneven flow during activity and even flow during the practice of meditation. Oh, you have raised it out. Yes, I want to do a very physical task, say like jogging. My right flow must be more active than the left. I'm moving with the love and affection. My left flow of the nostril should be more active than the right. There's a long list of that. Just giving a fraction of understanding. Someday you are jogging or walking, and your mind says, "No, I'm exhausted today. Let me return home." Your left nostril was active, and that is why you return home. I'm just giving a very one example of this. And now leave this, move the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, triangle, pointing upward. Om Shanti, moving the mind on a triangle, you already know it. Another form of the Nyasa, Om Shanti. And when you see that there is a sink, the moment you find the sink, you are responsible for success in your meditation. You see that? I'm out of the picture now. The moment you find a sink, you move the mind deep inside, pushing the mind by Om, deep inside the cave of your heart, Shanti, and you are totally absorbed. You should be absorbed in such a way that what happens? That it becomes extremely difficult for you to come out of the practice when you are doing on your own. When you're doing on your own by listening to it and you reach to this triangle's step, and now you're totally absorbed. You have no awareness of the time. It's a sense of the timelessness. And someday you will see that you keep sitting even more than an hour and then come back and ask your mind, what is this? It is possible. At present, there is a self absorption. We use the triangle in the Om Shanti and a sinking awareness to go deeper. Because if the sink is not there outside, the mind will return with the factors and it will give different interpretation from our desired outcome. And now go to the 16 segments of a finger. So here again, it is also a self absorption because it is the mind's eye, mind's ear, mind's speech, mind's touch is dropping the Shanto hum on each segment. And if all the mind is clear, you will continue to have those sensations. Then there are different variations that you have already shared your experiences. Um, so by saying sometime your mind will gather all the sense organ living within, and then it says Shanti, you will instantly feel the sensation. And sometime for others, it is just by saying Om Shanti. Why? Because the mind impressions are different. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Whatever the way you are doing it, every way of chanting is good, provided you are aware of the delusion. How? Any thought takes your mind away. So that is the inner stimuli. And every thought has a bias, maybe coming from the confirmation biases, maybe coming from the past memory, maybe coming from the drive, habit, long list. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences so that each one is benefited by your experiences. And if you have any question, definitely you can ask. If I know, I will answer that question. How are you, Sam? Sam is busy. Absorb. So let us see. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. The meditation today was very interesting because when we started the deep breathing, I just felt this overwhelming um, universal consciousness, and it just gave me
Good.
this support and this confidence um, to just take the journey through the entire meditation. So I did have some moments of coming out of it, but there were some extremely deep moments. And as soon as we went into the heart, my body temperature just dove. I'm pretty cold right now. So it was
Very
really,
good. Very good. You see that intellectually we have a conviction that there is a universal consciousness, but we must have a realization. And that realization comes by the practice of meditation. And that helps us to change our attitude and behavior. It's a wonderful. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. The meditation was deep, easy, no resistance. The lesson for me, it's like I see the mind, so I see the mind, and if the mind is focused on, oh, I can help, or I can change this, or I can right away say, no, no,
Yeah,
that's delusion. Everything outside is constantly changing, so we have no effect on that. That
beautiful.
we cannot stop that. We must not try. That's delusional. And sit with what is not changing.
Beautiful. That is, you are centered into that principle, and that is a wonderful principle. One point that you expressed, I see the mind. That I is a witness consciousness different from the mind according to the Eastern wisdom. And the greater we explore that, we are settled into that. What is outside, we always find changing aspect of the reality. And that helps us to settle in the discernment and dispassion. That is what the master says. You have all have been doing the practice, so obviously you can apply these principles in your daily life. And if you are a teacher, you can also start teaching that. But remember, in the first few sessions, you have to remain objective. Instead of claiming that I know everything, no. I heard that, Eastern wisdom says this. Because if you start communicating to your near and dear ones that I know, they will say, I have known you for the so many years. I have known you, you have been so not don't say that. But I encourage you to participate in that. Start teaching, not teaching objectively, that you don't become a teacher. So yes, Sam, you were absorbed, you were busy. So
Busy with what?
busy, yeah, busy with what? Yes, yes. I have to think.
uh, so the practice was very good for me today. I
Good.
found a very deep space through the three breathing practices, but I've realized through my practice that I need less and less of the intense breathing every time, and I can get to the place sooner that I need to
Very
go. Similarly, outside meditation class, you can find the place sooner, find the home, find the self sooner by using the principles and using the knowledge in your daily life. Um, One thing that I've noticed that I would say happens on the outside as a hopeful future coach or teacher or continued student, as we all are, is people have in the last month or so been commenting on my um, lack of focus. And I'm realizing the question is focus on what and focus on who, right? There are people that say things to you that you need to ignore, but they'll get mad at you for still not paying attention to them. So everybody's running around saying, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. My thing is the most important thing that you could possibly do right now. And when you don't pay attention to that, they suggest that you're in disorder, bipolar disorder, which I'm diagnosed with. They will suggest chaos. But if you're what my golf instructor calls being self-contained, or whatever you say, we're focused on the one-pointedness on the mind. We're focused on what we're focused on, and we're focused on doing what we need to do. But a lot of people on the outside will say, oh, you're not focused. But the question is, how could you decide what I'm supposed to be focused on?
Now, Eastern wisdom perceives the entire discussion or point of focus in a different way. Comparison is delusion, and from there you move. So you are also comparing, and they are also comparing. So that very comparison is delusion. Am I orderly? Am I doing all my tasks? Did I give the lesson organized way? Yes. So I'm focused. So I have to look at myself. At the same time, I should be getting rid of that comparison. So comparison is delusion. Worry is delusion. But if you learn from the comparison, better. How are you, Stephen?
Good. Thank you, sir. I'm profoundly at peace, living wisely right now.
Good.
The meditation was so deep, and I was absorbed. I haven't felt this relaxed in a long time. So thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thanks. I think I kind of relate a little bit to what Sam said, less about comparison and more about external things competing for attention and just like not getting caught up in that. And I came into the lesson like with a lot of things competing for my attention. And so the lesson was timely with the delusion. And my meditation was good. I had a little resistance with the breathing, but then I froze down like David did, and then I was in it. So
Yes, beautiful way to explain coming from the Sam. Sam explained at length, but that is what we need to understand, that when someone says that I'm not paying attention, so you look back your entire daily activities and check, did you do this particular act completely? Finished. Don't worry. But if you did not do it, then obviously then there is some lack of focus and attention. That is another way to look at it. So we'll understand that in a deeper way. That topic I will pick up. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I often don't always know how to express what I experience, but David, when he expressed the connection to consciousness, and as soon as I closed my eyes, I could feel that, and noticed that right away.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. A sense what she is saying, a sense of universal consciousness. And how about Dennis? Yeah.
The meditation was very peaceful. My flow of the breath equalized after the first set of breathing exercise. And what I noticed that was specific to this practice, today's practice, is that there was extreme steadiness, the feeling of extreme steadiness in the body. It was very difficult to move hands at the end when we finished the meditation.
Beautiful. Now you see that this, what Dennis has shared the experience before I go to Samir, Is it the stillness of the body, or it is the stillness in the body? I have to recognize it is the stillness in the body, and that is a reflection of the real self. How come? Can you make your body still? Every cell is constantly working. Everything is changing in the body. So can I objectively, now it is an objective awareness of the body. Body is separate from me. That is how the spiritual consciousness evolves. How are you, Sami? I'm just giving the idea of a future lessons. Yes.
Sir, it was it was very refreshing, and I was feeling dull before meditation. Now I am feeling fresh and happy.
Very good. You see, I always tell you, if you are with your honey, you are unhappy. If you are with me, you are always happy. No, I'm just kidding. But if you don't have honey, then that is your problem, not my problem. So how are you, Sangeeta? Sangeeta, how are you?
सर बहुत अच्छा था सर। ये बात बहुत अच्छी लगी थी, आपके साथ है तो खुश है, हनी के साथ है तो खुश नहीं है।
She is repeating the same thing, that she likes this statement that if she is with me, she is happy. I cannot say for everyone. Very good. How are you, Vaibhav? Young people like Vaibhav, not possible, They have to be with their honey. Yes, Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. So mine was calm. Practice, I was absorbed. There was a little heaviness in the breathing, but otherwise it was very calm.
Beautiful, beautiful, and very good experience. And who is left? Ashok. Ashok is.
सर नमस्ते सर। आई एम गुड और ध्यान भी अच्छा रहा, और आपको थोड़ा सा टाइम मिले तो मैं करूंगा।
इसके सब लोग चले आएंगे तो फिर. So yeah, he says that everything was good and calm. So you listen to the audio. You also listen to everyone sharing their experiences, doing only one meditation, listening to one talk. Then your mind gives a different interpretation based on the factors which is responsible and based on the realization. That is what is very important, to keep on doing the practice. Thank you. We will meet on Saturday now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Everyone. Namaste.
Namaste, sir.